Education Day. Our celebration of National Education Day leads to today's national webinar. Our webinar opens with the opening song sung by Dr. Suchandra Ghotok Ganguly, Assistant Professor in Performing Arts, Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education. Ma'am, Suchandra ma'am, please.
আজ জাতীয় শিক্ষক দিবস উপলক্ষে সকল শিক্ষা অনুরাগী ব্যক্তিকে আমার কৃতজ্ঞতা ধন্যবাদ জানাই আজকের সকল আয়োজকদের এই আন্তর্জালিক অনুষ্ঠানের।
Hello. Hello.
ম্যাডাম উনি মিউট করে দিয়েছেন নিজেকে।
Thank you, ma'am, for your sweet melodious chanting. Now I request our Honorable Principal, ma'am, Dr. Ahuna Chakraborty, who not only a versatile genius but energetic and enthusiastic enough all through her activities and always showering her praise over us. I request ma'am to deliver her welcome address. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you very much. Am I audible? First, tell me that.
Yes, ma'am. You are audible.
Okay. It's a pride privilege that we have Dr. Subhash Sarkar. I call him Subhash. I know him since 2016 when we had both participated participated in a refresher course. And you're a very bright person. And we're lucky enough that you have agreed, in spite of your busy schedule, to be with us and deliver your speech on national education policy. Let me introduce Subhash. It's a long one, but still, please listen to it. The head of the Department of Education, Tripura University, Central University, Agartala, Tripura, and his deliverance will be on National Education Policy 2020 Reforms in Higher Education. And we have here, in a short introductory note, that Dr. Sarkar is in the field of teaching and research in education for the last 16 years. He holds a steady and consistent academic career in the field of education. He has got a past experience for over 7.5 years in teaching in the Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, IAC, Agartala, as an assistant professor in education. He is presently working as an assistant professor in the stage 3 grade of and head in charge Department of Education, Tripura Central University. The Department of Education, Tripura University started its journey in the year 2012, a very young, I must say, department. Dr. Sarkar was the first head and of the department. Dr. Sarkar stood first class pass, gold medalist in his post-graduation program of course, in Vishwabharati, Shantiniketan, and a recipient of Mr. Nasir Kamila Memorial Award of Professionally Involved Educationist, 2017. He is also a member from 2017 in the Indian Psychometric and Educational Research Association, IPERA, Patna. He is also a life member of All India Association for Educational Research, the Indian Science Congress Association, Indian Association of Teacher Education, IATE, and many more. Dr. Sarkar is also associated with DDE, TU, IGNOU, and NCRT, Agartala, Tripura for the last 15 years. He has completed 3 research projects. Dr. Sarkar has delivered 40 invited lectures in different institutions as a resource person. He has also published different articles and research papers in national, international journal, books and books chapter, including review and preparation of study material for different universities. Dr. Sarkar has been guiding PhD scholars and postgraduate students for their research work. Dr. Sarkar also constructed and standardized 8 tests published by ISO 9001-2008 Certified Test Publishing Company of India. There are many more to say, but I have my time limitation. So here I take the privilege of now heading towards the other part of my introduction to the subject. A very hearty welcome to you, Subhash Babu. Very hearty welcome. We are indeed very grateful that you have agreed. Because today morning, as you all know, that National Education Day has to be celebrated all over India. And it is a mandate by NCTE and Ministry of Education and Higher Studies that every institution should, by way of seminars, webinar, posters, placard, lecture, should celebrate this. So we are indeed lucky that I am having my colleagues Anindita Bachar and a senior colleague, Krishna Goswami Kundu, both from the education faculty, who has taken up this initiative absolutely on their own and is conducting this program, National Education Policy Program. Indeed, I'm thankful to you, to both of you. Now let me go to the mainstream. Actually, I had participated in All India Principals Conference, AICP, in the month of February, 6th, 7th, and 8th, which was held in Nagpur, where 834 principals all over the nations had participated. And there I had the privilege to hear Kasturi Rangan's chairman, sir, the chairperson of this framework for this NEP 2020. And I had the opportunity to ask him in person few questions and a few envisagement of the policy. And it was nice to see him and his team. All the members were not there, but few of them were there, that they had welcomed our questions with open arms. And today we are talking about it. I feel really grateful on this session. Actually, the vision of this national education policy is India-centered education system that contributes directly to transforming our nation sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. And this vision, which I said, is read by me, and this vision is typed in the national education policy. Now, before I hand over the mic to the keynote speaker, actually what we are going to do, I'll be saying the overview of the policy. That is, I'm reading it out again. Quote, quality early childhood education available for all children between 3 to 6 years by 2025. We are 20, so within 5 years, we are going to have this. Every student in grade 5 and beyond will achieve foundation literacy and numeracy by 2025. New 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 development appropriate curricular and pedagogical structure for school education. Integrated flexible school curriculum. No hierarchy of subjects. No hard separation of areas. Integration of vocational and academic streams. 100% gross enrollment ratio from preschool to secondary level by 2030. Effective governance through school complexes. Then we have, I'm skipping one point because I'll read it last. I go to the other one. That is new vision and architecture for higher education with large well-resourced multidisciplinary education and institutions. Broad-based liberal arts and undergraduate education. I think regarding this liberal arts, higher education, we'll hear from Dr. Shorkar. Flexible curricular structures, creative combinations of study, multiple exit points. Dr. Shorkar will also highlight on multiple exit points. You can, and we have professional education as an integral part of higher education, empowered governance and autonomy for higher education institutions, light but tight regulation, separation of functions to eliminate conflicts of interest. National Research Foundation to catalyze research innovation. Rashtriya Shiksha Ayog, custodian of education in India. This is a gross overview of the policy. And I said I'm keeping one point for later one, that is rigorous teacher preparation, robust recruitment, well-defined career path. Highlight a little bit because we are representing teacher training education learning from our college. Our college is basically teacher training college. So I will just harp on this before I give the mic. This policy, teacher education, this policy aims to ensure rigorous teacher preparation in vibrant multidisciplinary institutions. Categorically, we say 4-year integrated Bachelor of Education at multidisciplinary institutions. Under that, we have undergraduate program of study, including both disciplinary and teacher preparation courses. That means you can do your BA and go for BEd, BSc, BEd like that, BCom, BEd like that. Stage-specific, subject-specific program to prepare teachers from foundation to secondary stage. All subjects, including arts, sports, vocational education, and special education are included. It is at par with other undergrads degrees, graduates eligible for master program. Currently, 2-year BEd program is to continue till 2030. So we have another 10 years. God only knows what happens after that. After 2030, only those institutions offering a 4-year teacher education program can offer the 2-year program. No other kind of pre-service teacher preparation programs will be offered after 2030. Substandard and dysfunctional teacher education institutes should shut down. Now, what we is to find before, if you have no other profession, now at least we have the SSC, School Service Education and Examination and all. in yesteryears, if you see the movies where Prashen or Rekha, whatever, whoever was there, it was very easy that they all became teachers. But teaching profession, teaching is a very, very laborious and institutionalized practice. Anybody and everybody cannot be a teacher. One must have the solace, the mental preparation. And that should be highlighted. Now, what we are doing from BA to straight away, we already have that in regional college in other states, in Bhubaneswar and all. There is a 4-year integrated course where BA, BSc you do and you complete your BEd and then you come out of it. We are trying to experiment on that. But India has a problem, whatever said and done. And we must understand this here, especially for my students, because you should not think that we are hypocrites. India's greatest problem, whatever said and done, is, again, I say, population. If you want a quality education, you should have a quality number. You have a quantifying number, and here you have what we are saying about quality education. Absolutely a paradox. You cannot have both of them. They're in all over, and you see this vocational and entry exit and all these things. They are copied from the American system of education. They can enter. They have time hours study. Okay, 16 hours put in, 14 hours put in, 6 hours put in. So that way they put in and they can study along with the vocation and along with their academic. I do not know how it will be here, but nonetheless, we have to hope for it. You are the future generation. You will be seeing what is to be done and how is to be implemented. So on the basis of that, I will not end my note with K Sara Sara, but I will definitely like to say that there should be an integrity. Actually, we call ourselves as a nation, but by function we behave like a petty states, like Chalukyas and Cholas and Cheras. Like that, we behave with like that. This is my state, so this is the end part of it, and God only knows who sits in the center. Actually, that mentality has not gone. So we have to come out of it. Only abroad when I go, I hear people talking. Excuse me, where are you from? I'm an Indian. Otherwise, here I can vouch and say, if you ask anybody, excepting army people, forget about them. You ask them, well, I'm a Marathi. What are you? I'm a Tamilian. I'm a Bengali. Nobody says, including myself. I'm an Indian. Nobody says. But this entire educational policy, I have gone through it. It is reflecting the education system of India as an Indian. My good wishes that we should come out of this petty states, this thing, what do you call that? Conspiracy or narrowness, and we should be Indian to functionalize this national education policy. Thank you very much. I hand it over to Trishna.
Thank you, ma'am. My heartiest gratitude to you for your igniting and thought-provoking address. Hope you always inspire us like this. We have entitled our webinar as National Education Policy and Celebration of National Education Day. Today is 11th November, we know it. 11th November is celebrated as National Education Day every year. National Education Day is an annual observance in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of independent India, who served from 15th August 1947 until 2nd February 1958. The Ministry of Human Resource Development announced on 11th September 2008. The ministry has decided to commemorate the birthday of this great son of India by realizing his contribution to the cause of education in India. This day is also seen as an occasion to remember Azad's contribution in laying the foundations of education system in an independent India and evaluating and improving the country's current performance in this field. Our national level webinar also focuses on National Education Policy NEP 2020. What is it? It is a policy formulated by the Government of India to promote education among India's people. The policy covers elementary education to colleges in both rural and urban India. This National Education Policy 2020 aims to bring transformational reforms in schools and higher education and thus shape India into a global knowledge superpower. Built on the fundamental pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability, this policy is aligned to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The National Education Policy 2020, which has been approved by the Union Cabinet of India on 29th July 2020, outlines the vision of India's new education system. The new policy replaces the previous National Policy on Education, which is called as NPE in 1986. This policy aims to transform India's education system by 2040. What says about what are the main points? What highlights this national education policy? They may be schooling to begin from the age of 3 years. The revised policy expands the age group of mandatory schooling from 6 to 14 years to 3 to 18 years. This new system will include 12 years of schooling with 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. Universalization of education from preschool to secondary level with 10% gross enrollment ratio, which is called GER, in school education by 2030. GER in higher education to be raised to 50% by 2035. 3.5 crore seats to be added in higher education. No rigid separation between academic streams, co-curriculum, vocational streams in schools. NEP 2020 will bring true core out of school children back into the mainstream. Vocational education to start from class 6 internships. New 5+3+3+4 school curriculum with 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. Teaching up to at least grade 5 to be in mother tongue or regional languages. This National Education Policy 2020 is the vision of India's new education system. The new policy replaces the previous National Policy on Education, 1986. It is to be induced at school level from preschool to class 12th, and it aims to empower each student in one vocational skill. Continuing to higher education, it aims to increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, including vocational education, from 26.3%, which was in 2018, to 50% by 2035. There are some salient features of the announced National Education Policy, apart from what is clearly evident in its documentation. What are they? They are self-reliant India, sustainable development goals, education as economic booster. Section 17 of National Education Policy stresses upon knowledge economy in terms of promoting cultural heritage, increasing gross enrollment ratio in higher education, aspiring more and more youth to pursue higher education, creating a pool of talented and skilled youth who aspire to build the nation and boost national economy, imbibing technology solutions and digitally empowered teacher education institutions. That's why we can get internalization of higher education. It is the first time to education policy of India. It targets on creating India as a knowledge hub, attracting foreign nations and to promote research collaboration and student exchanges between Indian institutions and global institutions through organized efforts. That's why there must be digitalized pedagogy and classroom. The initiative of Digital India and current crisis of pandemic has been the motive behind the need and creation of digital libraries, digital content, digital pedagogy, digital classroom, online teaching and online learning of different languages in National Education Policy 2020. Simultaneously, there must be a layered accreditation system. Not only that, the equipping this policy wants to equip teachers with latest technology and educational methodology. There are several initiatives that are introduced specifically for training of teachers in school and higher education. So what is new in national education policy? It aims at making India a global knowledge superpower. It is a comprehensive framework for elementary education to higher education as well as vocational training in both rural and urban India. The policy aims to transform India's education system by 2040. Naturally, it is high time to ponder over such a serious and relevant issue. Today, a special day, National Education Day, our respectable invited speaker is there. There are also so many academicians, research scholars, educationists who also gave and shared their views in the webinar. Wishing a grand success of today's vibrant webinar, we now proceed to our technical session. We are eager to hear from our respected resource person. I now request our esteemed speaker, Professor Shubha Sarkar, Head of the Department of Education, Tripura University, Agartala, Tripura, to deliver his keynote address. The topic of his lecture is National Education Policy NEP 2020, Reforms in Higher Education. Please, sir, can you hear? Now we are eager to hear sir's opinion about National Education Policy 2020.
Okay, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you, respected Principal and Secretary of Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education, Dr. Ahuna Chakraborty Madam, President of this college, Sri T. Das, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Shambhunath Haldar, SS College of Education, Dr. Trishna Goswami Kundu, Assistant Professor in Education and Convener, SS College, Anandita Bachar, Assistant Professor in Education and Coordinator of SS College of Education, all the distinguished faculty members, respected technical experts, hosts, and most importantly, my dear students and learned participant. As you mentioned that, yes, today is a very important, significant and auspicious day as we are observing National Education Day in India to commemorate the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first Education Minister of independent India. In this day, you are organizing such an webinar. It's really praiseworthy. So first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to the organizer for inviting me and give me an opportunity to express my views on National Education Policy 2020, which is very important and significant nowadays because our nation will depend on this policy. I heartily appreciate the organizer for organizing such a wonderful program during these pandemic situations also. Friends, this policy has 4 major areas already mentioned, madam, such as number 1, school education, number 2, higher education, number 3, other key areas of focus, and number 4, making it happen. I will concentrate on higher education aspect of this policy. You know that our ancient Indian education was glorious in nature. We can realize through the statement that Swadeshe Pujyate Raja Vidyan Sarvatra Pujyate. A king is honored only in his own country, but one who is learned is honored throughout the world. This was the main motto of our Indian culture and Indian education. As a result, the ancient Indian education was glorious in nature, and first university was established in Takshashila in 700 BC. Indian scholars like Aryabhatta, Chanakya, Patanjali, Atish Dipankar Srigan, Vatsan, and numerous others made important contribution in world knowledge in such a diverse field as mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, physics, medical science, surgery, civil engineering. In various fields, the Indian education system helped in preserving ancient culture and promoting cultural unity and infused a sense of responsibility and social values. The ancient Indian education system has been a source of inspiration of all educational systems of the world. But in British period, you observe that they want to create a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, and intellect. Their main ambition was to create only clerk, to run their government, to run their administration. There was no scope of any innovation and creativity. But during the freedom struggle, several leaders like Gokhale, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Swami Vivekananda, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Sister Nivedita, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, Gandhiji worked for better education systems hugely for our people. But despite of their extreme effort, Indian literacy rate at the time of independence was only 12%. After independence, we realized that higher education is a very important sector for the growth and development of human resource, which can take responsibility for social, economic, scientific, and other development of the country. The University Education Commission 1948-49 under the chairmanship of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan gave the foundation of the future of Indian higher education. The report of the Education Commission 1964-66 under the chairmanship of Dr. Daulat Singh Kuchari symbolized the symbiotic relationship between education and national development. A lot of thought has since been generated towards the energizing concern of higher education. After that come our National Education Policy 1968, after 10 years, National Education Policy 1979 and National Education Policy 1986. The implementation of various policies on education has focused largely on issues of access and equity. But after 34 years, this National Education Policy 2020 has come out with a new vision of the 21st century. This policy proposes the revision and revamping of all aspects of education structure, including its regulation, governance, to create a new system that is aligned with the aspirational goal of the 21st century of education. This policy particularly emphasizes on the development of creative potentiality of each individual. Creativity should be properly identified and nurtured. There may be a question, why creative talent or creative students should be identified and nurtured? The answer is creative people are the backbone of the progress of any society and development of any nation. As we know that Hag Legion mentioned a very good quote, man can be creative not only in painting, writing poetry, or discovering scientific theories, but also in cooking, carpentering, playing football, making love. Everywhere creativity is required. India will have the highest of young people in the world over the next decade, and our ability to provide high quality educational opportunity to them will determine the future of our country. More than 4.7 crore workforce may dominate the world industry and make India an economic superpower, provided that they are properly qualified, properly educated. If not, they will be the burden of the nation. We talk generally Japan's development, Japan's achievement, but don't follow them. Japan has no resources except human one, and she has developed it properly. Any amount of investment in capital formation will not bring desired result if human resource or knowledge industry is not developed. The world is undergoing rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. Knowledge is like fish. Unless it's fresh, it stinks. So our Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore mentioned, a lamp can never light another lamp unless it continues to burn its own flame. So we require up-to-date knowledge, modern knowledge. According to this policy, the aim must be for Indian education to have an education system by 2040 that is second to none, with equitable access to the highest quality education for all learners, regardless of social or economic background. There are so many problems in our higher education systems, which mentioned in our policy, such as less emphasis on the development of cognitive skills and learning outcomes. This is the main biggest problem which is mentioned in our policy. Next, policy also mentioned that a rigid separation of disciplines and streaming is a problem. We can't choose any subject which we like. There is a rigid streaming system. So this is a policy, it's a problem, especially in higher education. Next, limited access, particularly in socio-economically disadvantaged areas. Limited teacher and institutional autonomy, and lesser emphasis on research. Research is highly essential in higher education system, as the main motto of our Indian higher education systems or main mission is three. Number one is teaching learning process. Number two, research. Number three, extension education. So in research aspects, we observe that there are so many problems and laggings. These policy envisions a complete overhaul and re-energizing of higher education systems to overcome these challenges and thereby deliver high quality higher education with equity and inclusion. Some of the important highlights I would like to hear mentioned, which is mentioned in our policy regarding higher education, such as, according to this policy, the aim will be to increase gross enrollment ratio in higher education from 26.3% to 50% by 2035. For this, we required more number of higher education institutions shall be established to ensure full access, equity, and inclusion. Towards a more policy emphasis towards a more holistic and multidisciplinary education. That means there will be no hard and fast rigid streaming, science, arts, and commerce. There will be no such type of rigidity. There will be multiple exit and multiple entry. That means a holistic and a multidisciplinary education would aim to develop all capacities of human being, such as intellectual, social, physical, emotional, creative, and moral in an integrated manner. According to this policy, the undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 year duration with multiple exit option within this period. And there will be a certification, such as, for example, after completing 1 year in any discipline, one may receive or declared as a certificate holder. After 2 years, if someone completes 2 years, after that, he or she may exit, will get diploma or bachelor degree after 3-year program. The 4-year multidisciplinary bachelor program shall be the preferred option as a major and minor. The 4-year program also lead to a degree with research if the student complete a rigorous research project in the major areas. There will be a credit transfer systems, choice-based credit systems, CBCS will be implemented fully. Academic credit bank will be established. So there is an option to credit transfer. According to this policy, an academic bank of credit or CABC shall be established, which would digitally store the academic credits. Postgraduate degree or MA degree will be 1 year or 2 year. There is a flexibility in master degree program, such as 2 years master degree for those who have completed the 3-year bachelor degree. And here, second year will be devoted entirely or fully to research work. Another option is for the students who have completed a 4-year bachelor degree with research in undergraduate level, there will be 1 year master degree only, and there will be an integrated program of 5 years. Important thing is that for entering in a PhD program, the requisite qualification will be either a master degree or a 4-year bachelor degree with research. Nowadays, in entering PhD programs, the criteria is master degree. But if this policy is implemented fully, then bachelor undergraduate students with research may be eligible for direct entry in PhD program. After this policy, the policy suggested that MPhil program shall be discontinued. Multidisciplinary education and research university will be set up for the highest global standard in quality education. Choice-based credit system, which I mentioned, will be revised and improved to allow for flexibility and innovation. Academic, financial, and emotional support will be available for the students to help them attain better outcomes. Policy suggested open and distance learning will be expanded, thus playing a significant role in increasing gross enrollment ratio. Already new acts come down regarding open and distance learning. New acts already common to increase our gross enrollment ratio. Internationalization of education will be facilitated through both institutional collaboration and student and faculty mobility. An inter-university center for international education will be set up within selected Indian universities. Policy emphasis on motivated, energized, and capable faculty the most important factor for the success of higher education institution is the quality and engagement of its faculty. According to this policy, the teacher must be at the center of the fundamental reforms in the education systems. We know that without good teacher, even the best of system is bound to fail. But with good teacher, even the defects of a system can be largely overcome. So policy suggested every higher education institution will have adequate faculty. A desirable student-teacher ratio is 30:1. The prevalent approach of ad hoc contractual appointments will be immediately stopped. And appropriately designed permanent employment tenure track system for faculty will be introduced. These will be fully functional in all institutions by 2030. Faculty will be empowered to make curricular choices for their courses and pursue research with academic freedom. There will be an academic autonomy and freedom regarding research work. Policy suggested financial support must be given for the student. In the policy, it is mentioned that financial assistance to students shall be made available through various measures. Efforts will be made to incentivize the merit of students belonging to SC, ST, OBC, and other socio-economically backward groups. The National Scholarship Portal will be expanded. This policy also emphasizes on students' activity and participation, as students are the prime stakeholders in the education system. For this reason, a vibrant campus life is highly essential for quality education. Teaching learning process, we know that highly important for higher education. According to this policy, students will be given plenty of opportunities for participation in sports, community activities, arts club, eco clubs, activity clubs, community service, projects, etc. In every educational institution, there shall be a counseling system for handling stress and emotional adjustment, as we know that the stress and emotional problems are highly increasing during these pandemic situations. Also, a systematic and systematized arrangement shall be created to provide the requisite support to students from rural backgrounds, including increasing hostel facilities as needed. More importantly, all higher education institutions will ensure quality medical facilities for all students in their institutions. Children not only learn, but more importantly, learn how to learn. Education thus must move towards less content and more towards learning about how to think critically and solve problems, how to be creative and multidisciplinary, and how to innovate, adopt, and absorb new material in novel and changing fields. As a teacher educator, we know the pedagogy systems, but in higher education systems in general, there is no scope of teacher education. So policy emphasis on teacher education in higher education also. Pedagogy must evolve to make education more experiential, holistic, integrated, inquiry-driven, discovery-oriented, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible, and of course enjoyable. Education must build characters, enable learners to be ethical, rational, and caring, while at the same time prepare them for gainful, full life employment also. Regarding teacher education's policy suggested, teacher education is most vital and important in creating a pool of school teachers that will shape the next generation. But in respect to the quality of teacher education, Justice J.S. Verma Commission in 2012 mentioned that a majority of standalone teacher education institutes are not attempting serious teacher education. In order to improve and reach the levels of integrity and credibility required to restore the prestige of teacher education profession by 2030. Only educationally sound, multidisciplinary and integrated teacher education program shall be in force. The 4-year integrated BEd offered by such multidisciplinary higher education institutions will by 2030 become the minimum degrees of qualification for school teachers. The higher education institution offering the 4-year integrated BEd may also run a 2-year BEd for the students who have already received a bachelor degree in a specialized subject. A 1-year BEd may also be offered for the candidates who have received a 4-year bachelor or undergraduate degree in a specialized subject. Policy suggested that in order to maintain uniform standards for teacher education, the admission to pre-service teacher education program shall be through suitable subject and teaching aptitude tests, and it will be conducted by the National Testing Agency. In service, continuous professional development for college and university teacher will continue through the existing institutional arrangement and ongoing initiatives. Policy emphasis on the use of educational technology and platforms of online such as Swayam, Diksha, NPTEL for online training of teachers so that standardized training programs can be administered to large number of teachers within a short span of time. Regarding the vocational education, National Education Policy 2020, especially emphasis on the sector of vocational and technical education, which is very, very vital. As we know that only 5% of the Indian workforce in the age group of 19 to 24 receive formal vocational education, whereas in USA, the number is 52%. In Germany, it's 75%. And South Korea, it is as high as 96%. These numbers only underline the urgency of the need of vocational education in India. The functions of accreditation, funding, and academic standards of setting will be separated and conducted by independent bodies. Policy suggested these 4 structures will be set up as 4 independent verticals within the one umbrella institution, and that is HECI, that means Higher Education Commission of India. The first vertical of Higher Education Commission of India will be the National Higher Education Regulatory Council. It will function as the common single regulatory for the higher education sector, including teacher education and excluding medical and legal education. It will look important matters, particularly good governance, financial aspects, audits, infrastructure, and educational outcomes. The second vertical of Higher Education Commission of India will be the National Accreditation Council. The third vertical of Higher Education Commission of India will be Higher Education Grants Council. It will function as funding and financing of higher education. The fourth vertical of Higher Education Commission of India will be General Education Council or GEC. It will function for academic standard or credit transfer such as equivalence or for etc. A national higher education qualification framework will be formulated by the GEC and it shall be synced with the National Skill Qualification Framework to ease the integration of vocational education into higher education. The professional council such as ICAR or Indian Council for Agriculture Research, Veterinary Council of India, National Council of Teacher Education will act as professional standard setting bodies or PSSBS. They will be invited to be the member of GEC. This policy especially emphasis on research, which I have already mentioned. For this reason, the National Research Foundation or NRF will be set up through an act of parliament as an autonomous body of the government of India. We all are very well acquainted that research is very important aspect in higher education. But despite this importance of research, the research and innovation investment in India is only 0.69% of GDP, whereas in USA it is 2.8%, in Israel 4.3%, and 4.2% in South Korea. So, in these aspects, our research and innovations investment should increase. The primary activities of NRF will be funding research in all disciplines across the academic landscape through a competitive peer review process, building research capacity at academic institutions across the country, creating beneficial linkages between researchers, government, and industry, recognizing outstanding research through prizes, seminar, and incentives. In higher education, research is highly essential. We are very well acquainted regarding this. In this regard, I would like to mention one quote which is given by D. Purandeshwari in the convocational address of Kuvempu University. She said, "It is only when our universities will be able to produce a generation of innovators, not initiators, planners, not paper pushers, job creators, not job seekers, and original thinkers, and not routine followers. Treading the beaten path, only then our university graduates can confidently echo the statement of great French philosopher Descartes, cogito ergo sum, or I think, therefore I am, and transform our society into a vibrant, dynamic, and living society. As has been well said, I in India stands for innovation and not imitation. Then only we can create Atmanirbhar Bharat. Any policy's effectiveness depends on its implementation. Such implementation will require multiple initiatives and actions which will have to be taken by multiple bodies in a synchronized and systematic manner with a positive attitude from inner self. In concluding remarks, I want to say, if an egg is broken by an outside force, a life ends. If an egg is broken by outside force, a life ends. If an egg breaks from within, life begins. Great thing always begins from within. So that Swami Vivekananda's words, have faith in yourself, all power is in you, be conscious and bring it out. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your mesmerizing lecture. Your speech is really embedded with logic as well as reason. You are right when you say we must be job creators, we must not be job seekers. You said India stands for innovation, not for imitation. The database and information bank is really praiseworthy. Sir, take our regards. Now I call Anindita. Hello. Hello, Anindita. Hello. Do you hear me? Hello. Hello. Hello, Anindita.
Hello, ma'am. Am I
Hello.
audible?
Yes, you are audible. Now it's your part to deliver valedictory speech. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, madam. For the participant, I will like to say that we have already organized a quiz and the link has already been shared. Kindly go through the link to participate in the quiz program. Okay, as we all know that today 11th November is very significant day for those individuals who has come under the light of education. Today is our National Education Day and the birth anniversary of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of independent India. And in this auspicious moment, I can remember a sloka. विद्वत्तंच नृपतंच नैव तुल्लं कदाचन सदश पूज्यते raja vidyan sarvatva pujyate. One must never can compare intellectual wealth and royalty, as king is respected only in his kingdom while a scholar is respected all over the world. It's our privilege that sir is with us. Thank you once again, sir, for being with us and the way you shed light on the national education policy as well as the history of Indian education. It has been such a worthwhile session. As Sir mentioned that the vision of new education policy is access highest quality education regardless the social economical background and increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education and introduce a new Indian education for the Indian. And our principal madam and Trishna madam also has encompassed in a very short span the entire gamut of the proposed NEP, which are really important for the coming future. Because we all know that it has been a long time since the policy on national education 1986, as I mentioned already, which was modified on 1992, and after that the new national education policy issued in this year after 34 years almost. And by taking the vision, providing high quality education to all, and to instill among the learner a deep rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thoughts, but also in spirit, intellect, and deed, as well as to develop their knowledge, skill, and values to be a truly global citizen. The policy intended to attain the multidisciplinary approach in higher education by a single regulation, as ma'am.
Hello. Hello, Anindita. Hello. Hello.
ম্যাডাম অনিন্দিতা ম্যামের দিক থেকে হয়তো কোনো প্রবলেম হচ্ছে।
আচ্ছা, I think perhaps there are some network problem. Okay, Sanju. Okay,
yes.
can you contact with ma'am?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes,
You are audible. Yes, you are audible. You continue.
Sorry,
Continue.
there are
You
some
continue.
internet
You continue.
issues. Okay. So with sir, with your permission, can we move towards the interactive session?
Yes.
Hello. Thank you,
Ah,
sir.
yes.
Thank you. Sir, we have a question that we all know that the focus of national education policy on the multiple entry and exit. So, will it make some confusion among the student, which will be preferable for their future? It means where they should stop or where they continue. If you kindly focus on this point.
Actually, this policy suggested that multiple exit and entry. In present day society, there is a no scope of multiple entry and exits. Suppose if you are joined in a college in first year, you are not able to leave the course without completion of 3 years at least minimum for the undergraduate course. But here in this policy suggested that if one completed 1 year, then his preparation or study will not go in vain. Okay, there will be a certificate. It will be certified that certificate course will be treated as certificate course. And if someone completed the course 2 years only, after that he or she may join in another programs or another things, he or she will get diploma. In this way, there is an option of exits poll in different sectors or multiple entry, or anyone can join in any universities. There is a credit transfer systems and join in any time. Suppose one completed 2 years course and leave the course. After 2 years, he or she may leave the course and he can enter again. So there is a scope for join and exits. But how it will be implemented, there is a roadmap. There will be a roadmap and implementation systems. It was not yet finalized, but definitely our Government of India and Ministry of Education will prepare the policies implementations, how it will be implemented. So systematic and scientific procedure will be implemented very soon regarding this.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, another request is that if you kindly have a focus on the academic bank of credit, how it will...
Again, it is in choice CBCS system, there will be a credit bank like our banking systems where we deposit our money. In this way, our academic credit, in credit proper choice-based credit system, you may earn different credit and it can be transferred. It's stored in digitally. First of all, it will be stored and digitally. So a bank of credit will be established and it will be stored digitally, and any students can transfer his or her credit. The proper procedure will be implemented.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable time with us. Thank you. We have no more question now in chat box. I think I hope all participants have made a clear concept about the recommendation of new NEP 2020 regarding the education system of India. Thank you very much, sir. And now, I don't know when I disconnect, but lastly, I just say that today's program is very important to understand about the new national education policy, and the vision of the policy is that providing high quality education, as sir mentioned, and not only in just for academic basis, but also to develop their knowledge, skills, and value also. And the main focus is to implement a multidisciplinary institute where there are multiple exit option, entry and exit option. So I hope all participants have made a clear concept about this. And for the participant, I would like to say that we have organized a quiz and the link has already been shared, and those participants will able to scored 50% in the quiz will get e-certificate, and after the session a feedback link will be shared, and kindly fill the feedback form and submit it in time. And now I would like to give the mic to our convener, Dr. Trishna Goswami, as our IQAC coordinator. Dr. Shambhunath Haldar will not be able to join us today because of a health issue. And ma'am, now it's over to you. I would like to request you to for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anindita. Thank you. In today's webinar, event sequence, the deliberation of vote of thanks has been scheduled to Dr. Shambhunath Haldar, IQAC coordinator, Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education, but unfortunately, he is not feeling well. Due to some unavoidable circumstances, his duty has been ushered to me. It's really a privilege to me to convey thanks to all of you. First, I convey my sincere gratitude and heartiest thanks to Dr. Ahuna Chakraborty, Principal of Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education, Shimurali, Nadia, without whose constant support and well wishes we are not able to proceed. Then I convey my regard to Sri Tibrajyoti Das, Honorable President, Governing Body, Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education, who is not only a renowned social worker, but an educationist too. Today's national webinar on National Education Policy 2020 is under his auspices. I am delighted to thank you, sir, our respected resource person, Professor Subhash Sarkar, Head of the Department of Education, Tripura University, Agartala, Tripura, for enlightening us with your profound knowledge amidst your busy schedule. Now I am really glad to announce the name of my colleague, Mrs. Anindita Bachar, without whom I am incomplete. I welcome and thank you from the core of my heart for your young energy and enthusiasm. God bless you, Anindita, my sweet sister. I convey my thanks to Dr. Shambhunath Haldar, IQAC coordinator, Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education. Though you are not able to join physically in this webinar, but you are here with your constant effort regarding technology and documentation. Hope you stay safe. Finally, I am thankful to all my colleagues, both teaching and non-teaching staff of Shimurali Sachinandan College of Education, technical assistant Sanju Bhai, for your relentless support, and above all participants and viewers for whom is today's webinar. Thank you all. Ma'am, please, Principal Ma'am.
Yes.
Can we announce the ending of our seminar? Webinar?
No, just a minute.
Okay, ma'am. I pass this microphone to our principal, ma'am, Dr. Ahuna Chakraborty. Ma'am, please.
Yes. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
You are audible.
Yeah. You thank Trishna, everybody, and we forgot to thank Sundra. I take the privilege to thank her because Shanti is a real commodity now.
Thanks to Suchandra ma'am. Without this chanting, we cannot open our webinar. The opening is ma'am. Thank you for your opening song, Suchandra ma'am. Please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And when we were talking about, you all were speaking about Dr. Shambhunath Haldar, that regarding his health issue. I won't believe he rang me up in my other phone. He could barely talk. He's not only running high fever, but along with that, he's having a throat problem. He cannot talk, it is so sore throat that he can't speak. So I told him that you take rest. You don't worry, He spoke to me twice, thrice. He was very anxious. That is quite natural and quite welcoming a person who is involved with the college work should be like this. Even if I myself would have had this fever, I would have also not felt easy. But I would like to feel that, be with you all. But nonetheless, you have thanked nicely, gracefully, and we pray for our good health for for Sri Tibrojyoti Das sir, that is the president of our GP. He too is not well, and he couldn't give his presidential address because of his fever. And Shambhu, we miss you. And Subhash, it is nice to hear you after a long, long time. We are always in touch. And whatever you all do in your Tripura University, keep us informed, and we'll be glad to interact and be with you all. So, I mean, the phone is just minutes away, although we are separated over miles, but we can always keep in touch from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. And thank you very much, Anindita and Krishna, for your great effort. And Shonju, thank you. Shonju Das is very, very energetic boy. Shonju, keep the whole recording and give it to us, and see that the participants get their certificate on time, and the e-certificates for those who are participating in the quiz. I'm sure it is a very, very beneficiary seminar or webinar, we call it, on national education policy. And I think I won't be wrong. This time B.Ed examination is starting from 30th onwards, and you cannot miss out on national education policy. It's such an important thing. So I guess some questions will be there or should be there. I think it should be there. It should be included. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. It's a very nice experience.
You are always welcome, sir. You are always welcome.